ago. We're having a discussion. Let's go to Maine. And we're having a discussion about fact-checking sites and Snopes and things. And he said, "Well, that place sucks." I'm like, "Where do you do your fact-checking?" And he responded that he let off, "Well, I do my own research, Ann." And I'm like, "I'm good. This is not a conversation where we're ever going to find common ground. So you go do your own research, and we will go from there." Oh, Nelson got yes. Nelson got the notification from both the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Fan-fucking-tastic. Kim in the house. Kim not feeling well at all, ladies and gentlemen. Kim's got the vid. She got the vid. It's not helping her out. She's not doing great. But she's here with us right now. So everybody, please tell Kim you hope she feels better. How the F... Wait, so I got to set my phone here to... I'm going to set this shit to sleep. There we go. Do not disturb. Because it's making noise now, and I don't know how to stop it. It wasn't making noise before. Got to get that figured out. Okay, let's go. Oh, I forgot the great feature. 31 seconds to go to story time. I think this is a pretty fun episode, and I'm sure you guys have noticed, aside from the Hunter Hunterson Son stuff, this story is very different from what I do, from what I'm known for. And I'm honestly, right now, I'm just having a blast with it. It's super fun. It's superhero stuff, and you don't need to explain jack shit. It's liberating. Cheers, everybody. What do we got here? This is the New York City street system on a glass that I think A got me. I can't remember. But, party time. I feel like I need to hit that Mystery Science 3000 alarm like, movie sign! Movie sign! This is not the reading. Hey, Tibby, what up? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let me move this over here and this right here. We're going to get into it. You're going to hear something today I don't think you've heard before, but you're going to hear a lot of as the story goes on. Remember, I'm writing it from week to week and keeping track. If I get to episode, let's say 15, and find something I needed to change in a previous episode, can't change it because you already heard it. It's already recorded, but I can do retcons. So here we go. Let's get into it. First of all, let's get our sleigh lower third up. I got notes, guys. Lower third, hit record, boom, read, then stop recording. All right. Y'all A's in the chat room, you can chat with her. I will not see your chats. Why I do what I do best, because I'm ready and able. Here we go. Take this off, and with this off, let me make sure I'm still getting metering. It's good. Let's turn this off. Boom. Let's have fun. Here we go. Hello, welcome to Slay episode number 15. I'm going to get to the story so far in a second, but first, a new thing, retcon time. I am writing the story as I go week by week, so sometimes I have to go back and change things in episodes you may have already heard. This week's retcon is last week I said the Flechette Sisters were both blonde. Retcon, one of them is a brunette. Now let's get down to business. Previously on Slay. Lincoln's shootout with Pragman bathed the Nert Perps alley in blood. Lincoln wanted to kill Billy and collect the $50,000 bounty on Billy's head, but had a change of heart just as the Flechette sisters were coming down the alley to cash in. The sisters were in hot pursuit, but Shitbird's aerial bombardment bought Lincoln and Billy a bit of time. With the Flechettes in hot pursuit, Boss Hawg closing in, and Oleus Oakbeard lurking somewhere nearby, Lincoln tries to get Billy to safety. The man in gray had somehow climbed up the side of a building, dragging Billy along until he'd thrown Billy up onto the roof and was now climbing down the far side of that same building, dragging Billy along, but in the flash fire of sights and sensations, climbing down felt an awful lot like plummeting toward the ground at terminal velocity. A flutter in Billy's stomach, in his heart. He slowed so quickly he almost threw up. The man in gray dropped Billy on the back of a sleek, futuristic-looking motorcycle, then hopped on himself and grabbed the handlebars. "If you fall off, I'm not coming back for you," the cloak man said. "You won't get a second warning." Billy threw his arms around the chest of the man who had murdered Joe and squeezed tight. Billy felt the armor beneath the gray cloak. He expected the gurgle of an engine, but there was none. The bike took off like a shot. Billy had never been on a motorcycle before, hadn't expected such a yanking lurch. He almost lost his grip. The man in gray slowed slightly to turn a corner, and Billy adjusted, this time locking his arms around and grabbing his own wrist in a death grip. "Crap," the man in gray said. "We got company." He spoke in a normal voice, not needing to shout to be heard over a roaring engine. Was this motorcycle electric or magic? Billy looked over his shoulder. 3 or 4 cars back, a huge white pickup truck weaved through traffic, closing fast. "Who is that?" "You don't want to know," the man in gray said. "Hold on." Billy tightened his grip just before the motorcycle surged forward. At the intersection, the man in gray banked the bike up onto the empty sidewalk. He had to be doing 50 miles an hour. Buildings and doors whipped by on Billy's right, parked cars and streetlight poles on his left. The truck struggled to keep up. It was early, there weren't that many cars on the road, but there was enough traffic to require the truck to swerve into the oncoming lane to pass some vehicles. Billy heard a screeching from above. It was faint, like it was close, and also yet it was worlds away. He glanced up, saw large birds, but they weren't just birds. They had overlays, just like Pragman 6-shooters, those women's swords, and the Croco bear. The overlay gleamed and glimmered in the sun. Long, snake-like bodies. 2 sets of wings, one near their head, and a second, smaller set on their long tail. 6 of the creatures. No, 7. "We got some crazy shit chasing from above," Billy said. I can't really make them out." The man in gray glanced up, snapped his eyes back to the sidewalk. "You can see the crattlebats?" Billy pressed his head tighter to the man in gray's back as a bent stop sign whizzed close, only inches away. "I don't know," Billy said. "Do crattlebats have 2 sets of wings? If so, then yes, I sort of see crattlebats." The man in gray slowed at a red light, but he didn't stop. He turned hard right, joining the flow of cars going through the intersection, speeding up instantly to put distance between the bike and the white truck, which screeched to a halt before it rear-ended a stopped car in front of it. "Kid," the man in gray said, "important question. Are you on Nurple, like right now?" "I had 1 hit of Nurple 2 days ago. I've been seeing nightmare shit and magic, whatever the fuck, the whole time, okay? It's fading, but it's still there, and..." A rush of motion out of the corner of Billy's eye as something whipped past. A long line of pain seared across his right shoulder. He looked up, saw one of the crattlebats flying away. "That motherfucker cut me," Billy said. "The goddamn thing with 2 sets of wings just cut me. Get me out of here." The bike tilted right, then left, as the man in gray drove between cars. Billy clutched him tighter, held on for dear life. A booming voice from the sky rang out, made the air shake, and yet it simultaneously sounded like an echo from some distant cavern. "Lincoln Franks, imagine my luck that you are with the mark." Billy looked up. How much more of this shit was he supposed to take? In the sky above the street hovered a fat man with a prodigious belly. He wore flowing, dark green robes and had a long, thick beard that looked like gnarled tree bark. Sunlight gleamed off his bald head. There wasn't even a hint of a breeze, but beard and robes alike fluttered as if in a strong wind. Lincoln drove back onto the street and accelerated. "I will have my revenge this day, you vile scum!" the booming voice called. "I will have satisfaction from your insolence." Billy pressed his cheek to the man in gray's back. "This guy has it out for you, man," Billy said. "What did you do to him?" The man in gray turned a hard left, cutting in front of an old Ford They hit the brakes and leaned on the horn. I kind of banged his daughter, the man in gray said. I think we lost Boss Hawg, but we got to shake Oleus up there. Traffic was increasing as the city awoke. More workers and shoppers out on the streets. The man in gray didn't have quite as much room to maneuver. As they shot through an intersection, Billy looked left and saw something that could not be. The two hot chicks who had come after him in the alley were on scooters, sliding through traffic, the blonde on a black Vespa, the brunette on one the same color as the blonde's hair. Except Billy could see, faintly, so faintly, the telltale, ghostly overlay. The women were riding muscle-bound panthers, one black and gleaming like dark polished stone, the other blonde and blazing like glimmering metal. Streams of smoke plumed from both cats' nostrils, smoke that curled away behind them as they ran. Hey, Jedi wannabe guy, those big titty bitches are back. I see 'em, the man in gray said, speaking just loud enough to be heard above the hum of the almost silent bike. I can't take Betty and Veronica and Oleus on at once, and if I stop to fight 'em, Boss Hawg will catch up and we are toast. Billy wanted to go home. He wanted to go home right the fuck now. Betty and Veronica, are you fucking with me? That's their names. This ain't a good time to be fucking with me, man. This ain't a good time to be fucking with me. There's only one way out of this. The man in gray angled the bike to the left, just missing a parked car's opening door. Those nightmares you've been seeing, you're still seeing? If you come with me, you will see them for the rest of your life. You'll see the world the way it really is. There's no going back, kid. I can stop long enough for you to get off and you can take your chances, or you come with me and you be changed forever. A parade of images rushed through Billy's mind. The Crocobear, Pragman six-shooters, the talking mailbox, Longtooth, the ogre, the glowing store signs, Goblin Dante, the hot chicks with the swords, and the shadow monsters that ate Big Hack. Billy would see things like that all the time. Would he be living in a hallucination, or would he wake up to see a world that no one knew existed? If I don't go with you, what happens? Your severed head will be inside a box inside of 15 minutes. Oh, well, that was a factor now, wasn't it? Billy wished he could talk to Grandma, ask her what she thought, but there wasn't time, and he wasn't about to lead these insane, magical killers to her door. If the man in gray was right, if Nurple had let Billy pierce the veil of reality and see things as they really were, did he even want to put the blinders on ever again? He didn't. For all the nightmares he'd seen, and all he might see still, he simply did not. I'm with you, Billy said. Where are you taking me? I'm taking you to the men's room at the train station. The men's room at the train station? Bro, look, I want to live, but I don't swing that way, all right? Lincoln's jaw clenched. He was saving this idiot kid's life, and the kid thought Lincoln wanted a beeger in a bathroom stall or something. You're not my type, Lincoln said. Do what I say, when I say, if you want your head to stay attached to your neck. It was not lost on Lincoln that, a mere 15 minutes earlier, he had almost removed said head from said neck. He felt a tingling sensation in his head. Not a vision from Shitbird exactly, but more of a sense of urgency with an implied direction. The Flechette Sisters were closing in, and Oleus Oakbeard kept pace overhead. Lincoln had to get the kid inside before the druid launched a full-on assault with the Crattlebats. And what was that old coot prattling on about anyway? It wasn't like Tawny Oakbeard hadn't been the one to initiate the horizontal mamba in the first place. The train station was one of the city's oldest buildings, built at a time when the world's magic had been more prominent, when Freemasons had been designers of many larger buildings. All across the globe, their primary stone-based designs dotted every major city, many smaller ones as well, and there were plenty of small-town edifices to boot. 10 blocks to go. Lincoln would be there inside of a minute. Traffic was picking up. That worked against Boss Hawg, but not against Lincoln, who could slide between cars. The Flechette Sisters had that same advantage. The Big Panther split lanes just like Lincoln did. He wondered, briefly, what the unenlightened saw when they looked upon the sisters. 2 women on motorcycles, perhaps? A couple of spandex-wearing dudes on bicycles? Lincoln wouldn't know. Couldn't know, unless he talked to someone who saw their illusions and not the real thing. He could check with Billy later. If they survived, that was. Lincoln turned onto Alden Street and saw the looming mass of the train station only 5 blocks ahead. It took up 2 city blocks all by itself, a Gothic construct of heavy tan stone blocks and carved pillars. A shadow passing overhead was Lincoln's only warning before razor-sharp claws raked his hood, a flyby that smacked his head to the left and almost made him dump the bike. He instantly regained his balance and kept racing for the station. "Ah!" Billy screamed. "Get these motherfucking things off of me! Why'd you fuck his daughter? You shouldn't have fucked his daughter!" A glance up, to the left and to the right. The iridescent crattlebats were circling them, diving into strike, glimmering arm-length serpents with hooked steel-blue beaks, a 2-foot wingspan, and rear legs reminiscent of an eagle's legs if an eagle did roids and never skipped leg day. "Har, Frank! You feel the sting of my darlings!" Oleus roared with the volume of a storm, enough to rattle windows if his voice had been of the unenlightened world. Lincoln started to shout back, "She wanted it," but he stopped himself. That phrase wasn't exactly going to help the cause at this moment. Words had never been his strong point. A powerful burst of emotion from Shitbird. Lincoln gave into it, let it become his own. His left hand shot up and out, clamped down on the razor-tipped claws of a striking crattlebat. Pain dug deep in Lincoln's palm as a sharp point found its way through his gauntlet, but he didn't let go. He snapped his hand forward, then back, the motion rattling the creature, possibly breaking its spine. Lincoln threw it down hard in the Verge's path. His front tire bounced slightly as it rolled over the 4-winged creature, squirting its innards to the side in a jet of gore that splattered against a rust-eaten Camry. "Ah! Bitch on a panther, man! Bitch on a panther!" Lincoln glanced left, saw Veronica, the brunette Flechette sister, astride her shimmering blonde panther, closing in. The panther ran low to the ground, muscles fluttering and flittering beneath its fur. The sister's dark locks trailed out behind her. In her hand was a broadsword that gleamed wickedly in the morning light. Where was Betty? Up above, a half-dozen crattlebats circled like flying sharks, iridescent bodies rippling in preparation for another attack run. Lincoln brushed the threadwork on his bike's handlebars. The handlebars flared with electric, pulsing purple energy. "Big building, 3 blocks ahead," he said, then let go of the brake and the throttle, knowing the spell would guide his bike to the goal. Lincoln reached into his cloak. Each hand found a comfortable, familiar friend. The left found Bastard Maker, 8 centuries old and as deadly as the day it was forged. And the right, the hilt of Tizona, blade of legend. "Kid, let go of me. We need to switch places. Ready?" "Switch places with you? Are you out of your motherfucking mind? This bitch got a sword and this little dragon's cutting me to shit and there is a motherfucking panther, man. A motherfuck—" Lincoln slammed the butt of both weapons on the kid's hands. Littleby hollered, more in pain than surprise. but he let go momentarily, long enough for Lincoln to push off the pegs and hop onto the seat. Veronica slashed out with her broadsword. Lincoln turned, left foot kicking back, stepping over the kid as he did, and swung to Zona, knocking away the blade that would have cut the kid in half. A craddlebat's claws stretched for his face. Lincoln back-kicked his right foot over the kid and brought Bastard Maker up in a sharp short arc that cut the pretty creature in half. Lincoln kneed the kid's back, pushing him forward. The kid's hand shot out, grabbed the handlebars. "Why'd you fuck his daughter?" The kid pulled himself forward, ducked his head low. "You shouldn't have fucked his daughter, man!" Lincoln switched weapons from hand to hand, swung to Zona down, and parried away Veronica's slash at the bike's rear tire. "I can't steer this thing!" the kid screamed. "We're gonna hit this truck, man!" Lincoln had time to drop his butt to the seat and pinch his thighs tight in an instant before the Verge TS banked right around a pickup truck stashed high with battered furniture. And there was Betty. On the left sidewalk, And there was Betty. On the sidewalk, only a few feet away, her onyx Black Panther's huge paws driving them quietly forward, angling for a hatchback parked up ahead. Betty tossed her broadsword from her right hand to her left. Lincoln knew the blonde was gauging the time he needed for a sideways thrust. The Panther leapt onto the hatchback, sprang off at high and... The Panther leapt onto the hatchback, sprang off at high and to its left, a vision of ultimate grace and lethality. A craddlebat landed hard on Lincoln's right shoulder, its dagger of a beak driving for his eye. He flinched away. Betty's blade skewered the snake-like beast, inadvertently saving Lincoln. Sometimes it was better to be lucky than good. The beautiful black cat descended just to Lincoln's right. Lincoln timed the descent, swung Bastard Maker in a sharp arc. Just as the Panther's front left paw touched the pavement, the hatchet blade bit into its foreleg. Cat and rider alike tumbled forward, rolling in a windmill of legs and blonde hair and feet and paws. In an instant, they were left behind. The bike slowed sharply. Lincoln found himself approaching the train station's ornate front entrance. He was off the bike before it fully came to a stop. "Go home," he said to the bike. "Take the long way and don't get followed." Lincoln grabbed the kid off the seat just as the TS shot away, weaving itself through traffic. The unenlightened would hear a Harley, see a chubby old leather-clad biker riding it. The craddlebats circled above, agitated and thirsty for blood. Just higher than them, Oleus Oakbeard, descending, his robes fluttering on an eldritch wind, his eyes angry and lit with lightning. And on the street, closing in fast, Veronica, her mount's open mouth streaming smoke. "Come on, kid," Lincoln said, running for the doors and dragging Lil B along. "We gotta get to the John." That is it for Slay episode number 15. Couple of flubs there was all right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. The story is getting more and more bug nuts crazy, and it's only going to get more bonkers from here. Hope you come back next week for episode 16. Until then, I don't know what to say. Until then, I'll see you. And we're done recording. And we turn off the Slay lower third. And we get this back so I can see all of your beautiful faces again. Hello! Hold on a second. Martin, the blonde was not naked. I did not say the big tittied bitches were naked. I said they were big tittied bitches. You can do the rest. You can imagine it all yourself, son. I can't help you. I can't help you at all. I don't have time to go back through all the content, the comments here, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. It is, David Lamb. If you don't think a stone person wrote that story, then I'm doing my job extremely well. It literally, That story reads like a black velvet poster from the 70s lit up in black light, or the side of a conversion van with the only window being that little porthole in the upper back side. So you know what? If that van's knocking, man, don't come knocking. Oh, Timothy Clark with a great drinking game, or stoning game, if you want to call it that. When you guys watch live, every time I snap my fingers to do a retake, to tell Steve Ricky Briggs' retake, you got to do a shot or you got to take a boof. One of the two. I think that'll be a fun game. Let me know who wants to play that in the comments, and we can keep track of you next week. Hopefully I might get a stone cold good read. Babe, if I didn't say so, you can come upstairs now. Maybe I'll get a stone cold read, or it might take 16 stops and you guys will be ruined. Be ruined for life. Dawn feels bad for the injured panther. I'm sorry, I do too, just a little bit. Hey, darling, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Smells like coal cannon in here.
Hey, everybody, it's A. Oh, goddamn, the button doesn't work. Motherfuck.
You got another minute.
Hold on, let me try that again. A applause. Shit. Dude, I worked hard on this. Goddamn. Oh, because I'm in chat. Okay. Hey, everybody, it's A. Also, sorry guys, that is loud as fuck, and I'm not sure how to fix that. I'll have to work on that in the near future. Joining us now, you guys already applauded for, is my Gleaming Valkyrie of a wife, A. Is going to come in here and sit down. We're going to chit-chat just a little bit. So I'll go back to chat. Let's see if I can scan through these comments, see what you guys thought. Daniel Baker. Dr. Dan Baker Peach says, if I had a nickel every time I heard, I'm taking you to the men's room at the train station.
Sir.
Shit, dude. My friends are the funniest bitches in the world, man. All right. And I've traveled with Dr. Daniel Baker, and I'm willing to bet that is 100% true. Dr. Daniel Baker is a little bit of a little fuzzy bear out there to certain people who are attracted to gentlemen of his nature. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dip this down a little bit. Not that you're not an actual attractive human being in all other regards, Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD. I'm not saying that one bit. Let me turn this right here so I get my gestic. Now when I do that, you guys can see me.
Can I have
Oh, yeah. Gosh darn. Let's get into it. I love how I go through that whole story and I'm swearing my mouth off the whole time. And then it's like, gosh darn. You want to get your mic over, baby?
Sure. Well, that's going to be loud as well.
Hold on, let me mute you. Okay. So, for those of you just tuning in for story time and don't stick around for the blah, blah, blah between us, get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out. Because now, oops. And now I'm done recording.
Oh, okay. Can you turn my things on again?
Oh, my God. The things I have to put up with in the marriage, you guys. It's crazy. It's
True.
totally crazy.
The whole office smells like Irish potatoes. Smells like coal cannon.
I had that for lunch. It was delicious.
It smells so much like this.
Delicious. All right, let's get into it. I forgot to mention that after the reading, what we're going to be talking about is, well, I know I always want to check. Hold on.
Do.
Reese's pissed.
Because you locked her out?
Yep, she's out. You know what? You're out. You're not a wartime consigliere, Reese. You're out. We're going to talk about what we're doing to change what I'm doing right now, the live reading, so that when the episodes wind up in the podcast feed, it'll be more logical, more off, because now we are running dynamically inserted advertising, or DIA. And this has been jarring to some of you. Oh, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Sorry, let's go through the housekeeping stuff first.
I was going to do that after.
Baby settles in. Mm-hmm. We've got upcoming readings for me being out live, seeing actual human beings. Marie Curie, do we have that?
Book? Yeah, it should be.
It's behind the guy from Super Troopers. So we have April 18th, 7 p.m. Mysterious Galaxy in San Diego. Wonderful bookstore. If you're in the San Diego area or visiting, please come out. They do a great job. They are really working hard to keep an independent brick and mortar rolling. And then on May 3rd, 7:30 at Warwick's in downtown Village of La Jolla, which I've never been to. I'm excited. We're talking about this book.
Fancy.
I was just at WonderCon in Anaheim/Los Angeles talking about the hitherto secret experiments of Marie Curie. It's a collection of short stories about Marie Curie when she was a rebellious young lass over there in Poland and in Europe.
I think it's pronounced Mariah Carey.
Actually, it's technically pronounced Marie Curie, not
Yes.
Curie. Curie.
That's an internet joke.
Oh.
That somebody was like, I very carefully explained that I was very distantly related to Marie Curie, and somebody replied like, I think it's pronounced Marie Curie.
I wouldn't know. I don't get to look on the internet. I'm too busy writing for all of you people, but I don't mind. I don't mind these things. Anyways, I got to see with a couple of the other authors. Let me see if they were just, everybody was fabulous. And Henry Herz, the editor, got to read too. He was fabulous. So I think you guys will like this book. It's very, very well done. All right, now we get done with that, and let's go to Junkie Meetup coming up. It is not just any Junkie Meetup, ladies and gentlemen. It is not just any Junkie Meetup. It is a Junkie Meetup on Sigler Ascension Day, April 1st, and I have insider information that tells me that Steve the Iceberg Ricky Berg will have gear that is going on sale that day. That day. And that Steve the Iceberg Ricky Berg will be the only person who has this fucking gear, and that I don't even have this fucking gear yet.
That's true. I
wrote the goddamn book.
It's true. He's sassing and fuss budgeting about it, but he's a little mad because as we mentioned last week, on Saturday, we will probably we have some new gear coming at your faces. And whenever we have a new thing, we order it to test it to make sure that it's useful and how we want it to be for you guys, that it looks good, it works good, all the things. And I did some of those for Scott and some of those for Steve because Steve had a birthday this past week. And we figured...
Happy birthday, you backstabbing motherfucker. Happy fucking birthday.
So anyhow, we got to see Steve this past weekend for birthday celebrations. It was pretty fun. I got, it's California, so it's legal, but I got so super high, I had to go home early. One night, I got so nervous because Scott had a performance on Monday night. We'll talk about that in a minute as well.
Yeah.
But this past Monday night, so he went to WonderCon and went home on Saturday so that he would have the whole day before the gig to gear himself up. And I got super high and thought I don't think I'll be able to navigate the bus because I was going to take the bus home the next day, not realizing that the next day I wouldn't be high at all anymore and would be able to navigate the stupid bus.
You know what?
So I
would like to point out that
early and I missed out on hanging out with my friends.
I would like to point out that for once, my wife, who is smart as fuck, was worse at math than I was.
So stupid.
Suck it! It's so great. So I, you know what? I took her home, stopped on the way, threw a burger down her throat. We got back to our place. It was great.
And
all right.
I slept like 13 hours.
So,
too, so
to sum up, if you've never been to an iceberg party, it's a good party. It's on Zoom. There's a link right there. bit.ly/junkiesparty leads you to the page on my site. And you should be able to get that from here. And the reason I tell you that is because Steve's going to be showing off stuff that if you are signed up for the SMS list, if you're not, send 855-955-5095 to send SIG text to that number. It's right on your goddamn screen. Get a pencil. Write it down. That's how it works. You're going to get 10% off all of the merch and all of the clothing at scottsigler.com. And if there are books that we actually sell and ship ourselves, it's a buy button and not a link to a thing at Amazon. You're going to get 10% off that, your whole shiny cart, you shiny motherfucker.
Yeah, so there are, to be very clear here, you guys all know, we talked a lot about it when it happened. We have moved our T-shirt printing to a site called Printify, and they integrate with our site, but it's a ship on demand. We're not storing them, which is great because we don't have the room anymore physically with us. So it does count for that, because we're selling that from our site, even though it doesn't look like that. So you can use your 10% off coupon on those and any merchandise and any books that we ship from here. So those are mostly the GFL paperbacks or the hardcover Gangster or one of the very, 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 very precious few copies remaining, I think, just 3 of the hardcover Champion.
You have a very nice voice. I'd like to point that out.
Thanks.
All you bitches at home, also scottsigler.com/newsletter. We're going to get a newsletter game going. And no spam, no fluff, all hardcore information.
Hey, dude, nice to see you.
Information ramming you right down the eye. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I'll get back to that in a second. I found that there's an easy way to make literally anything in any situation, any word combo you can come up with, sound incredibly perverted.
How's that?
Babe, why don't you give me a random math problem and make it one I can actually solve? Thank you very much.
I mean, something other than what is 16 plus 16?
16 plus 16 is 32, if you know what I mean.
I feel like that doesn't.
I have found if you just add, if you know what I mean, to add the end of any sentence, try it. Try to work. Try adding that to any work, and make sure you get the look on there too. Let's get this. If you know what I mean. Yeah. And then if you really want to punch it up, you add a slow yeah to the end of it. 32, if you know what I mean.
Which one of your cousins is the stoner? Is it Brody?
Brody's a stoner.
That sounds like Brody.
Well, I got it from Brody. You know, he's out there humping anything that moves. It doesn't really matter. All right, so coupon coming up shortly. Let's turn that off. So, guys, sign up for the SMS list or the newsletter. Boom, get that 10%. I guarantee you, if you don't buy some of this new merch, you're going to be like, I'm bookmarking that page. I guarantee it's fucking awesome shit. Okay, now, is that it?
I think so. So we've got a few things to celebrate. As a reminder, a lot of you don't always see every week of the podcast or the Sigler in Place, the live stream. So we have stopped doing weekly pictures because Slay takes up half the episode. We do have a few Siglebrations, though. As I mentioned last week, my friend Steve Rickenberg had a birthday. Happy birthday to you. This week, on the 31st, my goddaughter Monroe has a birthday. So happy 7th birthday to her. And I think those were the two that I definitely wanted to make sure of. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about his show on Monday night. So a lot of you asked us to live stream it. That is totally uncool unless the venue says okay. So I just ignored it.
Also, I'll tell you right now, my cousin is not going to want anything live streamed until it's a little bit more polished and gussied up. He's very serious about putting on the best possible ridiculous obnoxious show he can. He wants to make sure it's good for all you people.
It was a fun show. It was a super fun show. We do have some photos though, and we can show you photos. We'll probably do that next week because we had stuff to talk about this week. And I thought it was super fun. It was there was a bizarrely Scott told me that I wasn't allowed to invite my friends, but a few of us showed up anyway.
I don't want your friends to show up when my cousin's not on his A game. You know what I'm saying?
And it was their first gig, and they did a great job.
The minister's very particular about this shit. If he's going to give a Monday metal sermon, he wants to make sure it is the best Monday metal sermon, so he can get on cable, and then he get that cable religious money. When you start asking for donations and here's cable, it's out the whole world, and he pulled all that back here, and he put it in Minister Merciless's little pocket. Now, he's going to do charity work. We're not going to discuss what kind of charity work just yet, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate.
Works every time. All right, now let's get into, first of all, Peanut, come a little closer, and we'll boom this out here. That helps the framing. I think it's so much prettier. Now, we've got, I did snap, so if you're drinking at home, take a drink. Let's talk about, that was somebody suggested a drinking or boofing game, right? Where every time I do a check for Steve during the episode, because I have to do a retake, they have to do a shot. What do you think? The legal department at MD7 Entertainment would like to say we're not responsible for anything that might happen to you when you've done 17 shots during one single reading.
Okay, then I approve.
We are not responsible for any driving accidents, we are not responsible for any seizures, and we are not responsible for anything else. Go fuck yourself, goodbye. All right, that is the legal disclaimer. So let's talk about now ad insertions, right? So this is a new thing. We used to do it all the time. We used to run pre-roll ads that I would read. All you original junkies may remember, Shure Microphones, Acura, friggin', of course, GoDaddy, Audible, Stamps.com, ShipStation, all the stuff we used to do all the time. And then for a while, we had those set up as dynamic inserts. So I'd finish a podcast, we chopped it up, put it back on Evoterra's old system, right? Or no, I'm sorry, Podiobooks.com. Mm-hmm. And then when you click download, it would have slots identified. It would download a current ad that we were getting paid for, put it at the beginning, put it at the end. Now we have signed with Realm.fm. Tons and tons of free fucking fiction for you guys to listen to. Go check it out.
You'll need to continue on your personal device.
Get the Realm app. I think that's going to wind up being beneficial to all of you listening to our stuff. Anyways, so we went away from ad inserts for a while because it was a lot of work, and now we signed with Realm.fm. and they make their money to run the company and handle all the back end stuff that this gorgeous creature and I just don't want to fucking handle anymore, bro. We want to hang out, do some, like, watch some football and shit, watch some Letterkenny. So
We're enjoying Letterkenny.
Letterkenny rules. So Realm is handling all of that for us now. Here, and therein lieth the rub. See, I know my Shakespeare, if you know what I'm saying.
Damn.
And their bread and butter, Realm's bread and butter, and all of podcasting's bread and butter right now is the mid-roll ad placement. What they want to do is they want to drop an ad in the middle of an episode because they know that if you are engaging with the content, like the content, you will listen to that. It might even be done before you have a chance to skip it, right? Or if you skip it and you're on the story, then you have to go back. It's a devious, brilliant, wonderful strategy for capitalism. So we're going to have mid-rolls in our shit from now on. First, I'll tell you about the back catalog stuff. The Infected Trilogy, Generations Trilogy, Ancestor, Nocturnal, the GFL, all the stuff that's going to be, all the stuff's going to be back unabridged, 100% free, that you guys can download and listen to your heart's content. Literally thousands of hours of my human life will be free for you to download at your discretion whenever you like. You can share it with other people. It ain't going to cost you nothing. It's going to cost you nothing.
And a lot of you know that our back catalog went away, mostly because it takes time to manage, and we just didn't want to do. We didn't want to do that. We gave away the first book in a series for free, but this is a way where we don't have to managing all of the feeds, and they'll all come back. So if you miss being able to go out and download the whole podcast whenever of one of ours, you can do that.
Michael Grace on Facebook gives a big heart for Podiobooks. Solid. Without Podiobooks, I don't think we would be here right now, frankly. So
I'm not sure you and I would have ever met.
Oh, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, Lord's sakes.
And that was an innocent comment. What are you talking about? There was nothing untoward about that or tawdry.
It's absolutely going to happen for the rest of the week in this house. Literally everything. We have a Friday meeting. It's a formal event.
Oh no.
Back in 2014, when he moved to San Diego, I had to establish that neither one of us could toot during the meeting. All right? True. So they're professional meetings, but I'm sure this one will take twice as long because
back in the day,
he's got to check and see if I know what he means.
A dirty butt kid from Sheboygan, I was an auteur of performance farts. So you don't just fart, you have to strike a pose when you fart and perhaps do a pirouette. And I thought this was hysterical. For reasons unknown, this gorgeous woman here did not find it that funny.
I mean, when I was
didn't find it that
talking about print contracts and things like that, maybe not the time for performance farts.
All right, so
if you know what I mean.
We're done. It works every time. It works. Good job. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks a lot.
I couldn't be more proud of you if you've got those grades yourself, honestly. Okay, so getting back to it. So all the old stuff,
Joshua.
there's nothing I can do about it, right? The ad inserts are going to drop in the middle wherever Allie can find a logical spot to put that ad insert in there. Allie Press is the one who works with Evo, works for us. She's doing an enormous amount of work, listening to every single episode, trying to find a place in the episode where it's the most unobtrusive to drop an advertisement, okay? So what we can't do right now, which we will work on with the back catalog, is trying to get a sonic bumper, get the Schwarmy sound between end of the story, advertisement, Schwarmy sound, back into the story. We're going to try and do that, but it's a lot of work. It increased our cost dramatically to the point where our return on investment could be 5 years away. But we're going to work on that. What were you saying?
But that's not all you're doing. You're also starting to kind of...
Well, that's the next part.
Yeah.
The next part is what she was saying was the stuff you just heard tonight, here's the new formula. I'm very excited about this formula. So I know I read 137 words per minute, right?
You narrate.
Narrate. It used to be 126. Now I read a little faster. And for a while, I figured this shit out. So I assume each minute is 137 words when I'm calculating how much I've written for this episode. So starting with the episode you heard tonight, I am calculating 137 words a minute by 10 minutes, 1,370 words in a chunk. Let's say a chunk. 1,370 words to the commercial break. And then at the commercial break, I'm going to have like a point of view shift or something where it's like set up like a TV commercial. Well, here is like, we're not finished with the story, but here's a place where you can like be either on the edge of your seat or, you know, when you come back from the commercial break, something's going to happen, right? This is like old school MacGyver. Not the new MacGyver, that bullshit. The old MacGyver. Like he gets in the elevator shaft and he lights the cigarettes. He says it's all full of red lights that are all going to kill him. And he goes, oh boy, like that. And then he goes commercial and he comes back and then he figures out how to solve the problem. It's going to be like that. So 10
Does
minutes.
it involve chewing gum?
I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to need a character in Slay called MacGyver.
Or Old Guyver. I like
Old,
that.
It's Old Guyver. It's Old Guyver. So what we're doing now,
It's
what you heard
worth
tonight is when Billy heard Lincoln say we're going to the men's room at the train station, that's where a Schwarmy sound's going to come in. Then we're going to insert the advertisement, then a Schwarmy sound. So moving forward in the near to far future, what we are working on is the content that we are making for you on Sundays. When it has a mid-roll ad break, that is not going to take you out of the story. We're going to get the bumpers on either side. And it's going to be a much smoother transition. And you, being good capitalists, will listen to that mid-roll and say, Jesus Christ, I've been needing this product my whole life. My whole life. Yeah. And then we'll make shit tons of money and we'll get new matching collars for the pups. That's pretty much all we spend. And scotch. We do spend money on scotch. Do you have anything else that... Yeah, Paul Collins says, shawarma? No, Schwarmy, but I like where your head's at. Babe, any thoughts on this?
The experiment to write in 10-minute increments is pretty new, but I think it went really well.
It went great. It went great. And not only did it go great today, in order to write 10-minute chunks, let me go back to main here again, because A and I have been working on this for like 5-6 years. How do I not write a 240,000 word novel when instead I could write 3 80,000 word novels?
Yeah.
And mom and papa get paid 3 times as much. Well, I mean 2.2 times. But anyways, and it's been hard, son. It's been real hard. I don't know how to do that. I know how to just,
Leave it all on the page.
Tear apart my clavicle and let my soul pour upon the page. And the words that must come out of this soul, or this soul will wrinkle and shrivel and be gone forever. That's what I know how to do. But now what I'm doing is I'm like, okay, let's see. Lincoln gets on a bike, 100 words. Billy doesn't want to be on the bike, 100 words. Billy swears that he's driving too fast, 50 words. And that micro breakdown, which we did today, hopefully it'll keep working. That micro breakdown is really like, I'm able to like watch the word count projection to get to the commercial break, look at the word count over here in the actual episode, and fucking write to the content. And nothing's left out. It's more streamlined. It's more pure and more is left to your imagination. But
Right.
I think tonight, it was like, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that this is a thing that is starting to change a little bit in Scott's writing, and I think it's changing with Slay. And several of you guys have emailed or commented on it here. There are many reasons that people love Scott's books. Often it's because the weapons are accurate, or it's because the science is real, or mostly real. It's because they take place in this universe, in this world, in places where you may have been. All of those are valid reasons. Some people like having every single little thing that he thought about to put into the story in the story. He is a person like that.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we're very fucking smart human beings. That's the reason that we read his books in the first place. And I don't need every T crossed in every, well, actually I do need that specific thing but in a book, but I don't need to know all the research he did in the context of the novel. I can just trust that he did his weapons research. And he says, it's a Glock, and the Glock doesn't click back when it's empty. That's important. That's enough. I don't need the rest. And I think he's starting to see that we don't necessarily need to see all the ingredients. We just need to see the finished cake. And the cake has to taste good. And we're doing that a lot when we watch TV, because I think I've mentioned this on this cast at least once before, but I'm trying to get him to start to see himself as creator Scott and consumer Scott. And creator of entertainment Scott wants you to know well, that's the wrong way to say it, wants to share all the information that he learned in his research with you in the fiction. And consumer Scott Hey, Scott Sigler,
Yes.
did you enjoy
Yes,
The Mandalorian?
darling.
Did you enjoy The Mandalorian?
I'm going to get a motherfucking Mandalorian tattoo at some point, right on my butt cheek. Boom. It's the best fucking show. I love it. Why do you ask?
Why does his helmet stay on all the time?
Why you got to be such a goddamn nerd? Jesus,
How
pedantic
does it
fucking-
connect?
Do you-
Because
do you have a neck beard? Do you literally have a beard on your neck? What the fuck is wrong with you? It's
Didn't
an
care
awesome
at all.
story.
Doesn't care at all
Pedro
about
Pascal,
why the Mandalorian
Pedro
can't
Pascal
do-
is fucking dope, and he's acting without his fucking face. Are you shitting me with this? Also,
But my point is this: he can enjoy entertainment without having all the ingredients shown on the screen. He can just take it and enjoy it and be like, "That was fucking rad." And we're trying to get him to do a little bit more of that in his writing because you people are smart motherfuckers and you can get it. You
Dr.
don't need
Danny
all
Rigger,
the-
PhD, points out that my math proficiency is all in multiples of 7 and 3 because that is football. I literally found one when I was in grade school, and I'm like, I'll be honest. I feel I'm a smart motherfucker, but math ain't my jam, dog. It's not. I'm not wired for that shit right there. And like multiples of 4 and 5 and 10. Come on, everybody can. That's fairly easy. Like multiples of like 8. The fuck? Who does a multiple of 9? Who fucking cares?
aliens who only have 9 fingers.
Any multiple of 7, any multiple of 3, it's fucking. I didn't even have to think about it because by the time I was in first grade, I've been watching football as a religion for like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so there you go. There's that. Okay. John Bivens says, "Hey, you started with ads, so all good. Great. We appreciate that. What we're trying to do is create an. I'm sure I won't say create. That's like Christopher Columbus discovering America, right? We're trying to perfect. We are trying to perfect an art form where you guys can be in your car listening, and it's roughly 9 to 11 minutes. There's going to be a logical place to take a breath in the story. Then I'm going to cram an ad up your ear hole. Then we come back out of that and you go on about your business. And I'm going to try and do it in such a way that like you actually kind of want a minute. You want 60 seconds, 30 seconds to be like, oh, that was some serious shit. That's an up level to the up level is getting to the point where in 10 minutes, I am so good at my craft, I can have you on the edge of your seat and wanting just like, I just need a breath. I need a breath. One breath. I'm so stressed. You need one breath. And I'm like, you hear the commercial, you'd be like, okay, let's get ready for this shit. All right, let's go. And then the next 10 minutes will absolutely kick you nuts. Another side order, Realm and Allie, through no fault of their own, and Evo, they were just all they're trying to do is bring home the bupkis to mom and pop. You know what I'm saying? We had 3 mid-roll ad inserts. 3. So the story would stop. There'd be a mid-roll insert of 30 to 60 seconds. Then a mid-roll insert of 30 to 60 seconds. Then a mid-roll insert of 30 to 60 seconds. Then we'd get back to the story with a harsh. I'm like, boom. Let's get a timeout. There ain't no amount of money that's worth people turning this shit off.
Right, halfway through the mid rolls is the thing. So we're definitely tinkering with it, but hopefully everybody will be on track and getting their Sigler ear holes.
You know, Rob says,
if you know what
Rob
I mean.
in the chat room says my ass is on the way, but I don't know if I'm the pronoun. I don't know if I'm
Is the way.
Is the way. Your ass is the way.
It's a Mandalorian.
Ah!
I swear he liked the Mandalorian.
Because I'm getting a tattoo on my ass, the Mandalorian.
It's
Probably not going to go on my ass. It's probably not going to go on my
And
ass.
it's probably not going to be a Mandalorian tattoo. It's probably going to be a Grogu tattoo.
No, fuck that guy.
You just went.
I know I love Grogu, and I hate myself for loving. I hate myself for loving Grogu. I don't want to love the cutesy wootsy bullshit. I don't want to love the little kid who's brought into the
But he
fucking
does
Cosby
this. He
Show in
does
season
this.
7. I don't want to love it. Maybe that's why I like him, because he looks like he got your. But I do. I'm sorry. I absolutely do. I fucking love that show, and I'm probably going to nerd out on Mandalorian gear in the near future. Except we got no place to put it. So,
I mean, you could stand it up there.
yes. So that is what we are trying to do. It is a fingers in the lake combination. Here's you. Here's us making money. Hey, ship. Just like that. What we're trying to do is find a very satisfying way to entertain you and also slide an ad into one of your orifices and then entertain you further. Would you say that's right?
If I have to, yes. That is correct. You know what? There's this thing that happens in our house. He loves to see me prudish and uncomfortable like this, which I am, and I cannot help it. You guys know I don't wear advertising like this on my T-shirt because I feel bad about the advertising. I can't get used to it.
That was pretty good.
But so he enjoys me blushing and feeling awkward and prim, but it's okay because I have an incredibly short-triggered startle reflex.
Oh.
And he
Jesus.
walks up and down the stairs in our tiny 943 square foot house going, I'm coming down the stairs. I'm coming. And half the time I scream in his face when he comes into the kitchen anyway, because I can't help that. So I feel like it's a trade-off, fair trade-off.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the chat room, Brian Kane says he's never seen The Mandalorian. If anybody has a spare, starts with a P, ends with a D, there's an ass and a word in the middle, reach out to Brian Kane. He would love to see that shit. So if anybody's got some shit to share, hook a brother up. Hook a brother up. We're really quite near closing
That
time.
is the way. That's cute. Yeah, we are pretty close to closing time.
Daniel Baker, Taint That a Mythosaurus, fantastic. Well, very fucking well done. So, mwah.
Did you have pups or no?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not have
Had
pups
it on
at
the
all.
script.
By the way, this shirt right here, Orbiting Death, available at scottsigler.com. Click the shop button or store button. I don't even know what the fuck the button is at this point. Yep, we're going to start doing a lot of this shit. You're going to see me wearing shit that I sell because that's how I do capitalism, everybody. All right. Did you want to check the chat room for questions?
I don't think there are. I've been looking.
Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Seriously, I think the story's really starting to flow. I'm enjoying it now. I'm having a good time writing it. I think this new scorekeeping challenge for writing these 1,370 word segments for a 30-minute episode are going to be fucking great and going to be good fun. And hopefully you guys will dig it. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. All right.
John Monroe, you got to ask that question if you have it.
Yeah, ask it right now, John. Go. John, goddamn it. John, run a 7-second fucking delay so the question, when you do ask it, is already 7 seconds in the past for us. It's like watching a supernova go off in like 7 light years away and 7 whole seconds. Wait, is a light? No, that's a light year. It'd be 7 years later we would see it if it's a light year. 7 light seconds away, motherfucker, which is something like, like Uranus. Uranus is 7 light seconds away, I believe. Please don't tell anyone I told Uranus joke, or the bad astronomer will be very disappointed in me because he's sick of those jokes.
Yes.
However,
he's even more sick of when people confuse astronomy and astrology.
Yeah, but we did see
the words.
We did see a Uranus joke on Letterkenny in season 1. Fantastic! It was sensational joke. Rob and Dan Baker, Rob Otto Dan Baker. I haven't asked you guys yet. If you've seen Letterkenny, tell me in the comments. We were waiting for John Monroe's question. God damn it, John! I'm very fucking disappointed.
It's more of a comment, really.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. There was one thing I was going to. In astronomy news, this past weekend, a meteor passed between between the Earth and the Moon. And, a lot of times you sort of see that as an apocryphal, like, oh my God, the world is ending. And it was totally fine. I just thought you might like to see it. Don Shipley, I mean the words. Sometimes when he's like at a convention or something, and somebody will say, hey, I've been thinking about studying astrology. When what they mean, of course, talking to an astronomer is I meant to, and it's a totally reasonable thing, right? To confuse that, but it trips his trigger.
I got it too. Rob Otto, I admit I told you to watch, was it The League? And you never liked The League, which I don't fucking understand one bit because you've run a fantasy football league yourself and know all the travails of this. But watch the first 3 episodes of Letterkenny because there's an enormous amount of Sheboygan in Letterkenny or Letterkenny and Sheboygan, whichever, if you know what I'm saying. Hold on. Yeah.
Puppy.
Okay, puppy in the house. All right, let's go. We're going to close this shop up because John's not going to ask his goddamn question. John, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Please email the question, John, to info@emptyset.com. We'll be happy to answer it on the next episode. All right, here we go. And that is it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on April 5th for Slay Part 16. Back for Splay Part 16. Until then, sorry about my guess. I got the guess. We want you to stay smart.
We want you to stay science.
And for the love of science, watch out for fungal growths and other shit that is escaping antibiotics
eye drops.
and antifungals. Check your eye drops because it's fucking killing bitches. These people just want to put an eye drop in their eye and alleviate their itching. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, next thing you know, they lose an eye. Next thing, they're fucking dead. They're fucking dead like this. Gone. Anyways, that is it. And for the love of science, we want you to stay informed. Let's switch back over to the...
Kim sending you all the good vibes. Hope you feel better super quick.
I call this the pretty cam. But we all know it's just all in my fucking head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's white chocolate behind you. Point to white chocolate. That's white chocolate. I keep all my bases for my cousin, Minister Merciless, and that's his favorite girl right now. Favorite girl's white chocolate. So sweet, so good. All right, that's it for us. Thank you, Petty Girl. This motherfucker got in trouble last night. Trouble. A went to bed. I come up helping A to bed, and I made everybody snacks. Make everybody a little plate of snacks, right? We got to get a little protein in, do our thing, you know? And I go upstairs, helping A, okay, like, I'm going to go down, I'm going to go and finish this episode of Letterkenny. By the way, I finished the episode of Letterkenny. We can watch it again tonight.
That's okay.
Come back downstairs, and this bitch right fucking here is sitting on the couch like this. And I'm like, you never lick your chops. You're up to something. And I'm going to find out what it is.
It's pretty easy.
It took about 1 second to find out what it is because the plate on my side and on A's side of the living room with the turkey and the crackers and the pickles and the olives, shit was stripped bare like the fucking bones of a T-Rex and pterodactyls tearing off meat. All that was left was the pickles and the olives because this bitch
doesn't like pickles.
This bitch doesn't like pickles and olives, but she ate the shit out of that turkey on her plate. And she does not get fucking human food. And I'm going to tell you what, one of these, I'm going to kick that dog with every motherfucking
doing
thing I
any
got.
of that.
I was so mad. I was so mad. All right. That's a long-winded way of saying we're done for the night. So we're going to go hang out. You guys, love you. Hope you enjoyed the story very much. Hope you enjoyed the jibber jab very much. We will see you next week. Until then, you can all kiss off into the sky.
And remember, Sigler
If you know
Ascension
what
Day.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Sigler Ascension Day sale.